The newest series in the long story of X-Men really looks at shaking things up. It examines the mutants beyond their struggles. This is a story imagining a world of togetherness between all mutants and creating a sense of culture for them. And uniting, we see just how strong they can become. It's frightening, cathartic, and awe-inspiring. This goes beyond the X-Men as we know. Today we'll be talking about the House of X series as we count down the top 10 House of X facts that change everything. I mean, this whole series honestly feels like it is already changed everything in regards to what we thought we knew about the mutants. Ultimate retcons galore here. Also, if you haven't read the series yet, maybe don't watch this video as there are some spoilers. Instead, I'd recommend giving it a read and then coming back. And I really would recommend reading this series. Not only is the art and story fantastic, this is, in my opinion, story retelling at its best, where the history isn't just discarded. And the colors are so phenomenal, they almost brought me to tears at one point. Literally almost brought me to tears. A reminder as well to stick around till the end of this video as we have some bonus content incoming. Alright, let's get counting. Number 10. It's not a dream if it's real. A phrase that has appeared throughout the series, this has left many readers contemplating the meaning behind these words. There are a few different important ideas and facts I'd like to touch on surrounding these and other words in the series. It is possible the meaning of the words could be related to the fact that this world, Krakoa, and the series is actually based in some kind of illusion. That it isn't a real world at all. Now that would seriously diminish all the work that has been done to build it, so I personally hope that that isn't true. Some have also speculated that it is a reference to the dreams of Xavier or Magneto. Xavier's dreams were originally humans and mutants coexisting, which doesn't seem accurate in this case, but maybe Eric's dream of fighting to protect mutants and their rights could be a reference there. And another quote that floats about in the series is one Xavier actually psychically sends to all of Earth in his speech: "While you slept, the world changed." To me, these two quotes are actually connected in a more symbolic way, a realization of dreams, so to speak. The words in the series bear importance because in and around them we also have the creation of a new language, Krakoan, the language of the land the mutants reside on, actually created by the land itself, being sentient. Only Cypher can understand the language fully, which also gets us started on another important fact of the series surrounding these words: the reinvention of the way we see certain mutants and their abilities. This series highlights Cypher's usefulness as a mutant, singling him out as the only one who can speak Krakoan, who can work with the land in creating programs that the mutants can use as well. Technology meets nature, that type of thing. You can find a cipher for the hieroglyphs of Krakoa at the end of House of X issue 3. Number 9. Krakoa. X and Magneto come together in this series, and the glue that seems to have brought all the mutants together is actually the land of Krakoa. What I wonder is if the land itself has some kind of empathic or psychic influence on the mutants that reside there. None of this has been hinted at, of course, but what Krakoa does seem to do is allow everyone to coexist in magnificent harmony. Well, as far as mutants go. Krakoa is still a bit of a mystery, especially in regards to all of the areas of the island that the mutants live on, and the other parts of it which they would like to leave accessible for humans. The machinations of where it came from and why it works also continue to remain a mystery. The existence of Krakoa itself has changed everything we thought we knew about many characters' goals and desires, and has caused a huge shift in focus for many mutant leaders. Number 8. Franklin. In issue 1, Cyclops knocks heads with the Fantastic Four. They have Sabretooth in their custody, and Cyclops offers to take him off their hands so that Sabretooth can be judged by his own kind. When the Fantastic Four seem uncomfortable with this and express concern for the actions of Xavier and the mutants in regards to the creation of their own separate nation, Cyclops becomes brash, and understandably so, really. He responds by asking them if they truly expected mutants to just sit back and take all the abuse that has come at them since the beginning, and that he remains allied with Xavier and believes in his vision. He also reminds them to inform Franklin Richards of his home with the mutants. X-Men and mutant kind are kinda always looking for Franklin to just come and join them, ever since he's been declared a mutant in the comics. While he has always remained with his parents and the Fantastic Four, I'm hoping this series will potentially see him join his mutant family on Krakoa. On the Omega level mutant list, Franklin is the only one who is listed as a human instead of a Krakoan within the comics. I feel like this is an indication that we may see him switch sides. I even have a theory he may end up being the Red King, though there is more evidence that this will be Kitty Pryde, and that the King part is just a misdirection of the writers, since she's already been referenced to as the Red Queen. Number 7. Moira MacTaggert. Many mutants are getting reinvented and re-acknowledged. It's as though the series really wants to highlight the power of not just the main crew of X-Men or the Brotherhood, but also use the series to rise up everyone and to expand mutants in regards to the importance of other smaller characters. Included in this expansion was Moira MacTaggert, who many were surprised to find out actually is also a mutant. Moira has an ability that up until now has gone unnoticed, as it is a unique one. She relives her life with the knowledge of her previous one, going back to when she was born, giving her oddly specific information that allows her to shape not just her own destiny, but that of the world, and especially that of mutant kind, who she quickly immerses herself in as she wrestles with the consequences of her powers. What will this end up meaning for the future of mutants? What happened in her 6th life? Both questions have answers that will surely change the story of mutant kind forever. You can read more about Moira and her backstory in issue 2 of House of X. Number 6. Everyone Together. The implications of how well mutants seem to be finally getting along is astounding. Many conflicts throughout the years of the series have been internal ones, with different leaders of different evil and good factors arguing the best way to progress, the best way forward for mutants. We now seem to be at a point where Krakoa can bring everyone together. A lot of this also seems to come out of the alternative perspective of Charles Xavier, especially in regards to working with Magneto. Charles and Eric do work together every now and then in the comics, but this goes beyond that. It's a marriage of philosophies now. In fact, many fans are speculating as to whether or not this constant cerebro wearing Xavier is even who he claims to be. Could he be an imposter? Magneto and Xavier's close relationship, working with Moira's knowledge of mutants' previous defeats, have also allowed us to see villains like Mystique, Mr. Sinister, and even Apocalypse brought into the fold. And the end of issue 6 show even family feuds within the X-Men being seemingly erased. Wolverine and Cyclops are all chummy, Jean and Emma like share a drink. This is some intense stuff. Number 5. Krakoa Flowers. The flowers of Krakoa change the way in which the mutants can get around. There are gates into Krakoa which are monitored and connected to biomes all over the world. These biomes were created by mutants when they planted Krakoan flowers and give them close proximity and easy access to cities and countries all over the earth. This concerns many different nations, as in the event of war, this would make mutants almost impossible to defeat. But it also means that as long as you have some fauna, you have a way home to Krakoa as a mutant. The flowers are also the secret to the drugs that mutants are able to produce, which cure various human diseases and ailments, including Alzheimer's and certain types of cancer. They even have drugs that can be used to prolong life. This is of course what Xavier offers the Earth in exchange for acknowledgement of the nation of Krakoa and amnesty for its citizens. Number 4. Orcas. This organization assembled to watch the progression of mutant kind. They're comprised of different groups who are designed to protect the Earth and humanity in their own way. Some are more noble than others. They list aim, shield, strike, sword, alpha flight, hammer, armor, and even Hydra as being part of their makeup. Originally, Orcas was created to simply watch undetected the progression of mutant kind. But since they have found that humans probably only have about 20 years left before they become extinct, they are now working to fight back against mutant dominance. Beyond Sentinels, they are working to create a Mother Mold and Nimrods. Mother Molds create other Master Molds, which in turn produce Sentinels, but beyond that, Mother Molds are believed to be advanced enough to eventually create Nimrods. Nimrods are made up of adaptable nanotech and are near indestructible and 100% anti-mutant. Moira encountered them in a previous life, and so she and Xavier created a system to watch for tech thresholds being breached in regards to the possibility of creating this kind of tech. Number 3. Amnesty for mutants. One of the asks that Charles had was that mutant kind not be permitted to be judged by human law. In exchange for the pharmaceutical drugs they had created to benefit humankind, they asked to be seen and treated as their own nation of people and for amnesty in regards to human laws. Mutants cannot be convicted of crimes anywhere other than on Krakoa. Only mutant law may judge a mutant. This means that no super prisons will ever try to hold them. While not every nation has agreed to these terms, many have, which ends up meaning that Sabretooth, after being captured and tried, is released by the White Queen herself, Emma Frost, who escorts escorts him back to Krakoa. Number 2. Mutant Law. When I was originally reading, I thought Sabretooth's freedom would mean he would just also be forgiven by his fellow mutants for all of his crimes. At this point, many villains had joined up and were even a part of the Quiet Council, categorized by different seasons, which are each comprised of their own leaders, who collectively appear to rule over Krakoa. I was wrong, however. Sabretooth instead stood before the Quiet Council to be judged by his fellow mutants. They decided to make an example of him, and thus punished him under mutant law. The mutants of Krakoa have decided they do not believe in prisons or in capital punishment, which in their minds would ultimately lead you to be resurrected, which I'll talk a little bit more about later. Instead, they exile you, but within Krakoa. Sabretooth is plummeted to the depths of Krakoa to be held there in the sentient land, unable to move for forever, or just maybe a very long time. As Xavier said, they may offer an opportunity for him to redeem himself, eventually. Mutant Law being this severe should help to keep all those separate mutants in check. In theory. Really should, because that seems pretty scary. We'll see how that goes. Number 1. The Five and Cerebro. It is also revealed in the series that Cerebro is not just used to enhance Xavier's psychic abilities in the way that we originally thought. It has been used to help save psychic imprints of mutants' minds, and basically their souls. Why is this useful? It allows Krakoa to be able to fully resurrect any mutant lost. In fact, they are working to bring back as many mutants as they can each day in the aftermath of the events of Genosha. We have also had a few other mutants lifted up to be on Xavier's level of playing God. There are also 5 mutants with whom these resurrections would not be possible, and some of them might surprise you. We've got Gold Balls, Eva Bell, Proteus, Elixir, and Hope Summers. Using DNA of the fallen mutants, this group can bring back seemingly anyone. Thank you so much for watching, Nerd Squad. I hope you enjoyed this list. Have you read House of X or Powers of X yet? What do you think of the series so far? Be sure to let us know in the comments below, and let us know if you want any other specific comic series covered. I personally have been loving both series so far, and the exploration of mutants who tend to play smaller roles in the comics. While you are on your way down to the comments, be sure to share, like, subscribe, and ring our bell so you don't miss out on any nerdy notifications. As promised, I also have some bonus content for you in the form of comments from one of my previous videos, Top 10 Scary Mr. Sinister Facts. Ooh, spooky. Grubkin Tittlefit says, "You're on the point with the outfits." Thank you. I love dressing up. And as it is October, you can expect to see a little more cosplay from me over the month of Halloween. Glad you enjoy my latex Cyclops. It certainly is fun to wear, personally, in my opinion. James Clark says, "I never picked up that Cable is named after Mr. Sinister." I know, me too. I honestly clued into it myself when I was writing that list. They both are Nathans, which is pretty creepy, but it's also pretty cool. And that's all the comments we have time for today, folks. Keep commenting and stay tuned to see if you maybe get a shout out in our next video. This is Top 10 Nerd, and I'm your host Amanda McKnight, reminding you, as always, to stay nerdy, YouTube.